I'm here at DePaul University, standing in front of the Lincoln Park Student Center here in Chicago. Just recently, DePaul has implemented a composting system both in the Lincoln Park and Loop Student Center cafeterias. We are here today to talk to students about the program and get some more information from the experts. From my sources, the composting program starts with the students. In fact, it begins with you. Tell me more about the composting process.
Well, composting happens naturally with organic materials. There are beneficial bacteria and microorganisms that help to break down the food waste, and it's eventually turned into soil, which can then be repurposed.
DePaul being in the city and stuff, we may get a little bit disconnected from the environment as there's pollution all around us. So I think it's a really proactive and good thing that we're encouraging this among students.
It's really part of our overall commitment to sustainability. Much like recycling, which I think we do a pretty good job of, I guess I would view composting to be sort of the ultimate in recycling. It's the food that's left on students' plates after the end of their meal that can go into the bucket that is available over by the dish room.
That was Bob Janis telling us more about composting and how it interacts with DePaul University. Now we go to my colleague Jonathan Eisman, who's following the composting bin to the back of the house. Jonathan?
I'm here with James Lee, who's the Director of Operations for Chartwells, and he's here to show us what happens to your food scraps after you've finished your meal. Let's take a look.
That is it. One thing to keep in mind as a student is stuff like this. A piece of plastic like this cannot be left in there, otherwise somebody has to go through and sort it out. So once we get down from the elevator, all the compost comes this way out to the back loading dock, and as we come around the corner, you'll see all the blue bins that are lined up, and this is where all the food waste goes. And then Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Republic Waste will come and pick up each of the bins and take it back to their composting facilities.
So tell me, why are you girls composting today?
Because I know I'm helping the environment and I know it's not going to be going into a landfill. It's going to be reused.
So when food waste is buried in a landfill, there's two primary environmental problems. First off, as that food waste decomposes, it releases a gas called methane. Methane is a very strong greenhouse gas, and when that's released into the atmosphere, it warms the earth. Second, when we compost, we're able to take all these valuable nitrogen that's locked up in the food waste and return it back into the soils where it can grow more plants.
Composting soil offers so much more than fertilizer ever could. It, in addition to providing nutrients because of the nutrient cycling system, compost is able to loosen the soil structure, making it easier for roots to grow down into the soil. According to the EPA, we produce 250 million tons of municipal solid waste a year. The largest part of that waste stream is food waste. That's about 35 million tons. Now, of the 35 million tons of food waste that we produce, only about 3% of it is being composted. So that leaves us with about 34 million tons that we could be diverting from landfills into compost, creating this really nutrient-rich soil.
What kind of consequences do you think there might be with this amount of waste production?
Well, it takes a lot of space up in the landfills, a lot of space that could be used for housing or businesses, something to support the economy or to educate people.
The biggest benefit I see of composting in the city is if compost can make it to those communities that would benefit from it. And in particular, I'm thinking of inner city, low income, often communities of color that are increasingly dependent, increasingly looking to urban gardening, urban agriculture.
Composting is a practice that offers a lot of opportunities for urban areas like Chicago to build communities around food production, around wealth development.
I'm here at our very own DePaul Urban Garden at the corner of Belden and Bissell Avenue, right across the street from Wish Field. We're here to show you the next step in the composting cycle where your food scraps have now become the soil for the next growing season. Let's take a look.
Currently we have a small tumbler, which is a anaerobic composter that we keep here at the garden. But we have plans to expand our composting this next season.
We're about to incorporate some compost into a few beds to get them ready for planting.
It's about as organic as it ever gets.
Well, that's it for this segment. I hope you got a chance to learn something about composting. And don't forget, it begins with you.
It begins with you.
It begins with you.
It begins with you.